Interesting. One moment. Try to stream. It's not letting me stream on Facebook. There we go. Yes, it is, Carlton. Trader to be. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share my plan. Buy China stocks now. Real talk. How to actually conquer greed. Our precise daily stock levels, our game plan in Forex, as well as our full stock analysis. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. My son wanted to watch Daddy broadcast today, so I said, I would give him a shot and come inside the room. So first, we're going to talk about why I'm putting my money down on Chinese names, where I think they're going to go. Real talk, how to actually conquer greed, or precise daily stock levels, or game plan in Forex, as well as our full stock analysis. But first, I would like to say thank you to our friends over at the T3 Live Compliance Team. Despite being unable to name one person on the T3 Live Compliance Team, they are my friends. Kindly pause this video when you are finished reading it. Go ahead and hit play. Thank you very much for reading that. Gotta watch the language. And okay, so something very interesting today. We're gonna start off with what we were basically doing. So we were talking about Baba Long today, and you could see right here on the Twitter that I tweeted out. Let's start with Baba Long buying 160 weeklies as a lotto at 23 cents. I went ahead and I bought some other names here as well. I went ahead and I bought some Facebook calls right here, right by the end of the day. And I went ahead and I bought some Win Resorts as well, WYNN. And I was taking some overnight longs, and I just want to talk to you about what happened today and why I'm dumping my money on Chinese names. So, first of all, um, let's talk about what happens um, with the meeting today. So what's basically happening here? U.S. China, they say U.S. China tensions flare as Secretary of State Mike Pompeo meets with counterparts in Beijing, and you could already know what they're going to be talking about. It's going to be North Korea, it's going to be the South China Sea, which China is claiming ownership of, and of course, it's going to be the U.S. China trade war. So, um, very interesting there. That's what the U.S. China tensions are flaring, and I approached it with a little bit of a different mentality here. I approached it with the mentality of there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and traders are going to be betting on this light at the end of the tunnel. And basically, I think these China names are going to bounce because even if it does come into fruition, even if it doesn't, I think I really summed it up right here on this tweet. I was tweeting quite often today. China buy, yup. Step one, Pompeo meeting Chinese officials to discuss trade war. Step two, light at the end of the tunnel appears. Step three, when this happens, whether it's a resolution or not, whether they make some agreement on the U.S. Chinese trade war, a trader should see an opportunity to go long Chinese names. And step four, I will definitely be buying Chinese names today. So looking at this, for me, it was very easy to go ahead and take position in some of these Chinese names today. So I am calling for a bounce in the Chinese market because look, even hold on one second, just one moment. Sorry about that. So even if nothing comes into fruition, we can expect a bounce in the Chinese markets, and hence that is why I bought Alibaba calls today. Again, if you're part of my Twitter service or in the Newsbeat live room, you are getting that call today. I'm giving you the follow up of what I did today. I do think the market is going to bounce. So I also called a prediction for the U.S. markets to bounce today. I actually did pretty well today. We called like a dead bottom of the market at one point in the day today, and we're able to score on some Amazon calls. But that I think is not the important thing to go over. I think we have some more important things on the agenda. Nonetheless, Mike Pompeo, it's almost like buy the rumor, sell the news. So the rumor obviously being is that we might progress in a positive direction with the US China trade war. And these Chinese names are getting slammed, absolutely decimated recently. And I think they're going to present buying opportunities. Next, I want to actually have a real talk with you. Not that any of my talks are fakes, but I think we should call it real talk. And of course, I'm going to be discussing, are you a greedy trader and how to control your greed in trading? Are you a greedy trader and how do you control it? So, if you want to be a successful trader, greed is probably one of the biggest obstacles you're going to have to overcome. If you try to get rich on every trade, you will more likely end up blowing up your account. Slow and steady does indeed win the race. I think I am living proof of that. It's basically the great challenge that all you traders face. And if you want to get rich quickly, you should start by doing it slowly. So greed is the emotion which plays an important role in psychologically when you're trading, investing, whatever it is. New traders in their account have suffered because of greed. Because in fact, the sayings, you probably heard this silly saying, bulls and bears make money, but pigs get slaughtered. The markets really show no mercy to greedy traders, and that, for example, is very true. And let's face it, it's all our desires to acquire these gorgeous returns that drive us to trade. But sometimes this desire becomes unhealthy, even dangerous when it's excessive. Therefore, greed is often considered the most dangerous emotion for traders. It's actually far worse than fear. Fear can paralyze you and keep you from trading, but your capital is preserved for as long as you keep your hands in your pockets or you sit on them and they don't smell good afterwards. On the other hand, greed pushes you to act in ways and at times when you shouldn't. That's why it's dangerous. How many of you guys double down, losing positions all the time? That is ego and that is greed. One of the quickest ways to blow up your account is to double down, and then double down, and then double down, and your stock doesn't bounce back, and you're done. For traders, it usually comes in the form of over leveraging, whether you have a margin account, over trading. Over trading the market is a form of greed. Chasing the markets, holding on to trades you should have exited long ago. When you think about it, when I stop and I think about it, greed is not that much different from alcohol. It can actually make you act foolishly when you have too much of it in your system. When it comes to a point that greed is clouding your trading judgment, you are particularly drunk with it. You know how it's illegal to drink and drive? What if I told you it was illegal to be greedy while trading? No, nobody's going to stop you. Nobody's going to give you a breathalyzer, but it should be. Like many other worth efforts, overcoming greed requires a lot of effort and discipline. It isn't easy, but it can be done. It's all a matter of taming your ego. So, what I like to do to conquer it and how I conquered my greed is I had a trading plan which actually prevented me from being greedy because I know naturally I will want to, like me, people don't realize about me, but I was actually prone to all the weaknesses as a trader. People think, wow, Mark, he's so disciplined, this, that, this, that. Don't you understand that all my strategies are designed to protect me from me? What is your plan? In fact, I gave you guys a very easy plan recently. I said, become a Newsbeat bandit. Do a one and done strategy. Look, You have simple steps for how to trade all these names. They're very effective. You have six-figure traders in the room. I think we're going to have our first seven-figure traders in the room who strictly do this. I mean, we have many seven-figure traders in the room, but I'm talking about traders who just utilize these two methodologies on the stocks we do. We've created videos. If you're watching on YouTube, you could type it in Facebook. I think there's a link in the description to the one and done in high five strategy. Those strategies were literally designed to protect me from me. That is my trading plan. I wrote it out on paper. I keep the plan nearby where I can reference it before placing any trade. By having this clear trading plan that is written out and in my case recorded out with a live video free on the internet in which you can watch, I know exactly what I'm looking for in terms of an entry. You guys can look at the market today and know exactly where I'm looking to enter. Exactly. It wouldn't even be a matter of opinion. So, for example, the one and done today. For those who watch the one and done strategy today, you could stop and you could look and you can ask, well, I want to know, where is Mark looking to get in BHC? Maybe a breakout right here. Maybe a breakout right here on the one and done for a move upwards. And if we were doing the high five strategy, where would Mark be looking for a high five strategy? Oh, right over here. Right over here. And, try buying through right there. You know whether it's right or wrong. You always know where I'm buying and have a great idea of where I'm getting stopped out. In fact, you can almost always know exactly where I'm going to get stopped out because I literally share my stop loss. The stop loss is always below the low of the candle you bought through. And it said so right over, why can't I highlight this? Right over here. Set at the end of that sentence. Set a simple stop below the bottom of the candlestick you chose to buy through. It's all defined. So by literally having a strategy, which I know which name I'm trading, I know where I'm buying, I know where my stop loss is it any wonder why I'm so phenomenally consistent utilizing this strategy? Why so many Newsbeat bandits follow this strategy and are phenomenally consistent? Do you understand that this trading methodology was designed to keep you out of harm's way? It's very easy for me to say you have to remain disciplined and psychologically strong. And no matter how many times anybody tells you that, no matter how many times anybody tells me that, those words will fall upon deaf ears. So by actually having this plan ahead of time, you will prevent yourself from greed. Are you the trader that is trading a bunch of random names throughout the day? Oh, that looks like a good setup. I'm in. That looks like a good setup. I'm in. That's a form of greed. Are you the trader who's, well, I'm up 50% and then I ended up losing 20% of my money? That's a form of greed. Greed, to me, is actually the worst trading characteristic out there. Now, granted, when you're greedy and it works, oh my goodness, is that a wonderful feeling? So, how would you overcome it? So, what do you do? Well, I have answers. Become a Newsbeat bandit. Right over there, you will overcome greed, you will overcome fear, you'll overcome indecision, you'll overcome all those things because this methodology has intertwined those values within it. I designed it that way to help keep you out of trouble. That's why I put my name and stamp behind it. I don't put my name and stamp behind things that could work. See, that's the problem with a lot of people. Somebody will show you a P&L, but do you realize all those people who show you P&Ls out there, like they'll say, okay, look, I made $800 in this name today. Do you realize they probably traded it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 times without telling you what they were doing? Buying on a dip, quickly getting stopped out, buying again, quickly getting stopped out, buying it, writing it up, doubling in, quickly selling, making money. And they're doing all these things behind the names in which you can't do. That's why when traders hide the number of shares they trade, for every trader who's hiding the number of shares or option contracts they trade out there, they're deceiving you. They are deceiving you. Every single one. Oh, look at my P&L. All right, how many shares did you trade to get there? Oh, I'm going to hide that. Deceit. I consider it a form of evil. I would rather have somebody come out and openly admit the bullshit in which they spew upon you, because it's that same bullshit in which they spew upon you, which blows traders up. And that's why I get passionate. Otherwise, bullshit all you want. You want to say you have the best pizza in the world and you open up a little shop, go ahead. What's going to happen? Somebody's going to come in, drop $2 to $10 for a slice of pizza or a pie and a soda, find out your pizza is good, find out it sucks, walk away, and that's the day. You come with these strategies to traders and act like you know what you're talking about when you don't. And what's going to happen is you're going to blow up people around you. And then what you get is the revolving door effect in the room, where you have an equal number of traders coming in and an equal number of traders coming out. That is why the majority of rooms don't grow and they remain stable. They don't remain stable because they have the same members. In fact, the vast majority of chat rooms will not have the same member in the room at the end of 1 year. At the end of 1 year, all the people you know are going to be gone. Now, what I tried to do is I tried to create an exception to that. And the majority of traders who are here, who didn't just sign up in the last open house, who found us for the first time, the majority of them, the vast majority of them, are actually here and have been with me for years. And there's traders who are with me for 10, 11 years as a broadcaster. To this day, 9 years, 10 years, 11 years. And the reason for that is because they're making money alongside with me. That is the reason. So the whole point of these strategies and what I'm teaching you is to not show you my P&L, to not show you a seven-figure P&L and be like, look how great I am. Don't you wish you could, if you could just be 5, 10% like that, you'll have all the money you want. And I could, blind you with a cloud, an illusionary cloud of deception and deceit and bullshit, for lack of a better word. And I try to avoid that at all costs, because I know when I'm a broadcaster, it's not about all those liars out there. Now, not all these people are lying about their P&L. A lot of them are actually accomplishing that P&L, but they're doing it in a way in which they don't preach, they don't share, and they know is extremely hard to replicate. So what I do is my strategies are based on easy, replicable things that keep you out of trouble. That is why we have the highest retention rate. That is why we have the fastest growing, largest trading room in the nation, because we're doing something right. And I want to share this and bestow this upon you, whether you're a member of the room, whether you're not a member of the room. But if you want to be a trader and you want to make consistent alpha, I humbly believe from the bottom of my heart, you found the right place right here. Using risk management in every trade is another way to conquer greed. And some people say, this is the area where greed can kick in. Traders are always very tempted to put in larger amounts to get higher returns. They want a huge profit with less size of their trading accounts, which is very dangerous. I mean, you should always have a strong risk management plan before putting any trade in, and make this as a practice and you'll see the difference. How about this? Raise your hand right now where as soon as you put in an order, whether it's a market order, whether it's a limit order, that you're immediately setting up a hard stop right after you put it in. How many of you do that? Raise your hand. How many of you guys do that? Be honest. I mean, okay. Sometimes not me. I don't use stops. Me, yes. I do. I don't. I almost never use stops. Now, you'll have a risk department come to me, somebody who works in a risk department. Who is somebody who works in a risk department? It's generally a trader who's been trading between 1 and 5 years, somebody who couldn't make it as a trader, has the right degrees, and got hired as the firm for a risk manager for other traders in the firm. So you have these people who couldn't trade their way out of a urine-soaked brown paper bag coming up to you and trying to talk about risk parameters and strategies for risk parameters. When I tell people I don't have stop losses, the first question they ask is, what's your biggest down day this year? And when I tell them it, they say, what's your biggest up day this year? When I tell them that, they ask, what's your second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh and eighth and ninth and 10th biggest up day? And when I finally get to biggest up day number 30, and they realize my 30th biggest up day is larger, much larger than my biggest 1 day loss of the year, they don't understand. How is it possible? How is it possible? How is it possible that somebody who has no stop losses, I throw in a stop here and there, 5%, 1%, 3% of the time, when it warrants it? Maybe I have to go take a crap, a piss, coffee, tea. Maybe I have to breathe. Maybe an important phone call comes in and I set a stop and I walk away. But there are traders out there who feel like they have to have a stop because that's the way I was taught. You buy here, stop here, take profit here. I'll sit back like this and watch. Let's see when this stock is going to hit my take profit. Oh, it doesn't happen. Over 50% of the time, I think I'm a losing trader. Look, I'm here to have real talk with you. If you're offended by this, go talk to somebody else who's going to tell you the life of trading is full of roses and rose petals raining from the sky with rainbows and little unicorns, yeah, jumping around and prancing around you and full of smiles. And then a huge luxurious sofa comes in and you get to lay down and just breathe in the air. And, if that's what you think it is, there'll be many traders who will present an analogically similar situation of what trading is for you. The way I use risk management is I never bet more than I'm willing to lose. How's that possible, Mark? For example, if you buy 500 shares of Apple, I'm going to make up the price. Apple is, a big stock. Let's say you buy 200 shares of Apple at $200. What are you risking? Oh, me, Mark, I'm risking 500 bucks. I'm risking a point and I'm trying to make two. Wow, he must be a good trader. He has good risk reward parameters. Do you realize where you buy Apple is a million times more important? Do you realize where you buy Apple is a million times more important than the fact that you're risking one and making two? And that's another way you're being deceived because somebody will come to you and they're like, we're going to buy here, set a stop there. And you'll look at the chart and you might actually understand why they're setting a stop there, whatever. But you have to stop and ask, well, what percentage of the time you're right? You know what kind of answer you're going to get? An I don't know or a lie. One of those two things you'll often get because people don't like to put in the work to find out when they're wrong. In fact, I have found in my experience less than 5% of traders look at a losing day and go over their losing trades. And my methodology prevents you from that because it's a statistically profitable strategy. So if you keep at it, you are going to get those positive results. Do you see why these methodologies exist? I'm trying to make it so you're lazy. You don't work. You're greedy. You're fearful. You have psychological toxicity. You've lost a lot of money in the past. You're bad with stops. You're bad with a lot of things. These strategies are developed for you. For you. That's where they come from. So my risk management is, all right, I'm buying $3,000 worth of options on this crappy BHC today. I actually bought a lot less. I'm just using that as a random number. I bought $3,000 of this BHC today. How much am I going to lose? $3,000 and not a penny more. Well, whatever, commissions, whatever. Take that aside. I'm losing what I put into those options. But most traders, that's why I trade options, because I'm comfortable knowing the maximum money I can lose. If I throw $1,000 at something, I could lose $1,000 if the company files bankruptcy, gets halted 1 second after I buy it and files bankruptcy. You know the traders who blow up generally? They generally, 99% of the traders who blow up, you know what they all have in common? You know what they all have in common? Anyone in the room want to guess before I give you the answer? What do they all have in common? The traders who blow up. Greed, yes. Not that they set stop losses. Close, not a bad guess, Golan. They double down. Yes, Roger. They double down. Poor risk man. All that is true. They add to the losers. Over position. True, 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 true. But you want to know what they all have in common? Like, a lot of them have all those things. You want to know what they all have in common, though? Like, maybe 80% of them, 90% of them double down. Maybe 10% of them had poor risk management. Well, actually, they probably all did to certain, like, they're different shades of risk management. You want to know what they all had in common? They all traded common stock. All of them. 100% of them. It's crazy. I was reading firms' prop reports or whatever, and they come to me and they're like, Mark, can you do anything to help our traders? And I read these things and I read these statements. I'm like, all right, show me your traders that are hurting. I'm looking at the peanuts. I'm like, oh, ooh. Like it's heartbreaking, really. I'm looking and I feel horrible for these people. And I'm like, statistically speaking, all these traders share one thing in common. What's that? I'm not going to drop the name of the firm. What's that? He asked me. They all lost money trading common stock. And they're like, well, of course they all lost money trading common stock. And I'm like, no, fool. You have option traders that are not blowing up. How many of your option traders blew up compared to your stock traders? Oh, you didn't show me one option trader that was blowing up. I see. Now, not to say it's not possible to blow up with options. Of course, it's possible to blow up with any trading instrument. But the one thing they all shared in common was their trading common stock. Because when you buy 1,000 shares of Apple at $200 and Apple goes to 198 because the queue's flushed and you didn't see that coming, and you have the buying power, let's say, and you tag in another 1,000 shares of Apple, you could make your size 100 shares, 10,000, 5,000, wherever you are buying power as a trader. And you buy in again, and you buy in again, and you're like, oh shit. Now I'm down $7,200. I somehow got 2,900 shares of Apple. My buying power is running out. All right, time to get religious. Look, please, please help me. Please, I'm just asking this one time. If you bail me out of this trade just one time, I promise I will never do it again. And I promise I'm going to help old ladies walk across the street. And I promise I'm going to give my time at the homeless shelter and cook food for them and give out food. Please help me this one time. If you ever said that, you suffer from greed. And that is the topic we are talking about today. That is greed. That is greed. So, the last aspect of greed we're going to go over today is to not overtrade. Because when you overtrade, that is also a result of greed. That is not fear. All the things I am telling, all the problems I am bringing up is greed. Even the traders bullshitting you with showing you a good P&L but not showing you how they accomplished it. That's also greed because they want you to give them money. That's actually greed on their end that's hurting you. Everything I talked about today is based on greed. So overtrading, something I used to do so often, which I never do anymore, is a result of greed. Only trade as per your plan. What is your plan? Be a Newsbeat bandit. I will show you what a consistent plan looks like. Sign up for the room, try it out for a month, become a Newsbeat bandit. Am I pitching you to join? No, to me I'm trying to save your life as a trader. Only trade as per your plan, and if you're getting excitement from overtrading, then you are not trading, but you're simply gambling your money as a result of greed. Greed is one of the biggest, not not one of, greed is the biggest enemy of trading. And practice with proper discipline and the right mindset with self control will help you to overcome this negative emotion. The problem is, by me telling you you need the right mindset and you need self control to overcome this, that's bringing zero value. What you need is you need a game plan that is actually designed with this in mind, intertwined within the methodology to prevent you from doing these things. I was literally thinking of starting a service for the Newsbeat Bandits. A paid for service. I kid you not. It's going to be the funniest service in the world. All it is you'll get a text message from me and or tweet or both, and it basically tells you to log out of trading, like log out and call it a day. Because sometimes people need to see it visually in front of their face. The audible part sometimes doesn't work because you could hear it's a slow day. You could hear it's not going to be a good day, but for some reason you just kept going. But for some reason you just kept going. So I was literally thinking of starting a service where it's like log out, Mark, message from Mark Melnick, log out, get off, leave your computer. If you don't leave your computer, I'm going to be mad at you. For comfort, smash your face against the sidewalk as opposed to throwing tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars at the market. Believe me, your doctor bill will be cheaper. To overcome greed, you need a methodology that's strict. You are going to miss a lot of ideas in the market by overcoming this. You are going to miss a lot of trades. Are you ready for that? What if making money, what if being a trader was not a 9 to 5 job? What if being a trader was being intelligent? What if being a trader only required 1 trade or 2 trades a day? What if you've had a methodology that taught you how to find those 1 or 2 trades with a phenomenally high consistency rate compared to other strategies? Would you do it? And I hope and pray that your answer is yes, because that's what it's going to take to get you to the next level. It's not going to be some little kid coming to you who looks like he's 12, but he's somehow 25 or 30, and him coming to you and telling you that there's a chart pattern he likes. And it's not going to come to you from that seasoned 50, 60, 70, 80-year-old veteran who acts like he knows what he's talking about because he's been in the market forever. This is going to come with a methodology that takes your weaknesses and has that integrated and intertwined within a strategy that helps you prevent doing those things in the first place. And unless you find something out there or create it yourself, you are going to be in for a world of hurt. Fortunately, there are 2 strategies like that. There are 2 strategies that work with a phenomenally, phenomenally high consistency ratio, and they are very effective in all market conditions. And that is why I developed these algorithmic strategies for humans so you can benefit off the market as well. That's my take on greed. Do you want to know what an accurate level looks like? Do you want to know what an accurate level looks like? Let me show you something. See these spiders? Here's the daily of the spiders today. See the low 285.50? Would you believe me if on the Newsbeat live levels I told you 285.41 was algorithmic support on the spiders? Would you believe me? Would you believe me on Facebook today if I told you that 154.65 was algorithmic support and we hit 154.39, 26 cents off on a wild, volatile trading day where Facebook has a $4 range? Would you believe me? Would you believe me if in the live room today and on the Newsbeat live levels, which I offer free to the world, if I told you in Amazon yesterday that 1898.92, almost 1899, was the resistance on Amazon, algorithmic resistance to sell out or for a short, and we hit 1902, 3 points away on a day where Amazon had a 71 and change dollar day over a 70-point range today, would you believe me? Well, I got news for you, because whether you believe me or not, I am not a time traveler, ladies and gentlemen, and you could watch the previous Newsbeat show and get the Newsbeat live levels. And they don't always hit, but when they do, they are sometimes phenomenally accurate. And that is not a coincidence that I am showing you tomorrow's Newsbeat live levels. I have your support for the Qs, Spiders, IWM, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. Take a screenshot, print it out, take a shot with your phone right now. It is free. Keep it by you while you trade. You would be surprised in the darkest moments of trading and in the market when you find the most value out of this, when you are actually in the Newsbeat room while everybody is selling their Amazon calls over $1,900 today. You would be surprised how valuable something like this actually is. How about my game plan? I'm watching a couple names here, very interesting. PEIX, that's Pacific Ethanol, shot up today. I'm giving you a simple trigger here of $3.15, denoted right here by your June 7th high. Maybe you break out from there. And of course, next on the radar, I got Pixis International. Could you believe that our friend Andrew Left came out and actually upgraded this name? He felt like too intelligent after downgrading Tilray, so he said, I'm going to find a marijuana company I like. And he went ahead and he upgraded PYX today. I think PYX could potentially explode again tomorrow. Maybe it pulls in, maybe it doesn't. I am giving you a very simple trigger here of $42.30. That is going to be your breakout on Peter Yankee X-Ray PYX. That's Pixis International. Another marijuana play getting positive commentary uh, today coming out of Citron. And yeah, oh, game plan and Forex. So I shared my game plan. I did not share my Forex. So Forex has been on a roll. Forex has been on a roll. We just got filled on a new trade today. And again, honestly, it turns hot, it turns cold. I always make money in the long run, or have been so far, knock on wood. But here's a trade we got filled in yesterday, US dollar yen at 113.076. It was up before. I don't know what it's doing now, but I'm still in the trade. It's actually at exactly 113.076. So I'm actually break even in it as of this exact second. But yeah, I actually have one new trade here today. It's a buy order in Great Britain pound Aussie dollar. You get my bid up to 5 decimal places out. If I get filled, that's where I take a loss. That's where I'm trying to take a loss. If I get filled, that's where I'm trying to take a profit. And that's a screenshot from my live Forex account. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you enjoyed today. I do think Chinese names are going to rally. I hope you guys enjoyed our real talk session. And I like to call it a real talk session here because I think it's really important to just be honest with people. And I understand I'm going to come off with some people, and some people are going to be like, Mark said bullshit. I can't be around those words in the market. And I'll be like, look, I respect that. But, the truth is it comes out naturally because I have so much passion and love for the trading community. And I know what it's like to struggle. And I know what it's like to be at the bottom. And I know what it's like to be all the way at the top or where I want to be as a trader today. And I want to help get you there. And sometimes tough talk is much more effective than, flowery rainbow talk. Nothing against flowers or rainbows. I like both of them. But with that being said, I think sometimes traders need real talks because, sometimes someone just has to tell you the truth and how it is. And you know what? Nobody ever gives me any like issues when I talk like that because they all know it's true. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to analyze all your stocks with my levels and thoughts. That is our full stock analysis. That is for Newsbeat Live members and Newsbeat Live Bandit members only, with the largest, fastest growing trading room in the nation. Happy trading, make money. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.